Hi everyone, how you doing? It's Brent here again with you with another devotional. Interesting time we're in. It's been a few weeks now of us being self-isolating, quarantining away, and with the news looking that we're going to be here for another few more weeks, probably another month at least. And just thinking about what does this all mean for all of us? And just kind of thinking about what to talk about a little bit today. Got the idea of church. You know, it's been a few weeks now of us kind of doing church online. You've been probably watching worship services online. You've been watching some of these videos online and our youth group live online, and everything's kind of online. And is that church? You know, we're doing these things. Sometimes you're watching a video. Sometimes it's like our youth group live. You can comment, or one of our chats. We're in a Zoom meeting together. And what is that church? And what is the idea of church? Has church basically stopped happening, or is it something different? I can see where we would think that way, because when you watch this video, maybe you think of it, you're just consuming a video, or you're watching something and not really participating. And is that what church is? Something to consume now? Well, I think it means we just find out a new way to do church. In some ways, it might feel like the community part of church has disappeared, and it's just now just watching a series of videos, and that's what church is. But in many ways, church has not changed at all. Let me read this from you. It's from Ephesians chapter 4. So Christ himself gave the apostles, the prophets, the evangelists, the pastors and teachers to equip his people for works of service, so that the body of Christ may be built up until we all reach unity in the faith and in the knowledge of the Son of God, and become mature, attaining to the whole measure of the fullness of Christ. Then we will no longer be infants, tossed back and forth by the waves, and blown here and there by every wind of teaching, and by the cunning and craftiness of people in their deceitful scheming. Instead, speaking the truth in love, we will in all things grow up into him who is the head, that is Christ. From him the whole body, joined and held together by every supporting ligament, grows and builds itself up in love as each part does its work. It's Ephesians 4 verses 11 through 16. And even though now we're online and we're not meeting in person, those roles haven't changed. We still have apostles, pastors, people with the gifts of prayer. Those gifts haven't left. And you still have those gifts, or in the process of discovering what your gifts are. So here's the thing. If you have the gift of prayer, that hasn't left. If you have the gift of evangelism or inviting, you still have that gift. What we have to do in this season is figure out, how do you use it now? The gift of prayer, you don't need to be in a church building with a gathering of other people to use your gift of prayer for others. If you have the gift of evangelism, if you find yourself naturally just being able to invite people, well, now you don't invite people to a building, you invite people to something online. Whether it's one of our, like a chat room, or one of our, live experiences, or just inviting them to watch a devotional and having a phone call with them. The gifts of what make up the church haven't gone away. They're still here. You and your gifts are still present and needed. It's not just watching a video or listening to a podcast. That might seem like that's what church is right now. But the gifts of the people who make up the body are still present. And so we still need to find out new and exciting and innovative ways to use those gifts. But the people who make up the church, even though we're all isolated, even though we're all at home, your gifts are still needed in the kingdom. So how do you use them? We just gave a few suggestions there. But maybe this. In Proverbs 27:17, it says, as iron sharpens iron, we sharpen one another. And I kept thinking the idea of maybe that's something we miss right now. Maybe for some of you, that's coming from you miss sports and being able to practice and get better because you're with one another. Or maybe in class, asking questions and learning and group thinking and all of that. And maybe that's where you get your iron sharpening iron. And maybe we're all kind of missing that a little bit, not being able to interact with each other and learn. But how can we? Maybe we can't meet face to face, but how in this season can we be iron sharpening iron? How can we be making each other a better person? Maybe it's accountability. Maybe you find a friend and say, you know what? In this season, let's make each other accountable for whatever that means. Maybe we get on the phone and Bible study together. Or maybe we just keep each other accountable. You know what? I'm losing my temper a lot, or I'm getting impatient. Hey, can you help me check in on me every day and see how I'm doing? Different ways that we can use our gifts to still be the church. So we can keep maturing, that we can keep growing. Because that's not gone away. The church hasn't gone away. It looks different right now. And it might look that way for a while. But we can't let church become something that we just consume by watching videos and thinking, that's church. Church is very much community. And it's a little awkward right now how we do it. But God's going to give us the strength because our gifts are still there. The spiritual gifts that you and I both have, we still have them. And He wants us to use them. Even in these unique settings, in this unique circumstance, in these legendarily unique times, how will you use your gifts to make each other a more mature Christian? We'll see you soon.